Welcome to WWE Locker Talk, the show everything WWE past, present, and future, your favorite non-wrestling wrestling show on YouTube. I am Matt, joined as always by my side, my co-host Koltyn. And today we have a variety show. So buckle up, kids, because it's going to get a little crazy. Koltyn, would you like to spin the track on our first topic?
No, you can do it.
Okay. Well, our first topic, we're gonna just kind of free fall and pinball through Monday Night Raw this week. I just got through it last night, so it was really Wednesday Night Raw.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. There was some good spots in there. Ambrose came out. They kept the leg injury, which Farmer called, so good call on that, Farmer. Came out, Sheamus came out to face Dean Ambrose. Decent match. The feud between Randy Orton and Sheamus continued. That's going to be I don't know. My co-host was telling me that it's a legitimate thing, or he's heard that it's a legitimate thing that they're going to give Sheamus another run with the championship. So that'll be, I think, his third title reign, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, because honestly the others didn't really matter that much, so I don't know.
So there's that, and Kevin Owens came out to face Dolph Ziggler. The show-off came out. Started talking to him. They wanted a match. Owens backed out of a title match. Ziggler said, that's alright, let's do this anyway. So they got the match going. Owens, dominant start like he usually does in most of his matches. And it trickled down to a balance, and then Ziggler just took off, being the show-off like he is. He hit the zigzag, he hit the famouser, he hit some super kicks. Owens had a super kick in there, I think, too, or at least one. Owens had some top rope maneuvers going on. It's pretty cool. The commentary team was decent for this entire match. They seemed like they were really enthralled in it. In the end, Owens took the win, but Ziggler really won because he went home to Lana. After that, I don't remember much until MGK came out, and I fast forwarded through all of the talking parts and all of his performance as well. And it is a long song. I didn't listen to it, so I don't know if it was good or not, but it was a long song. And then Kevin Owens came out. I don't know why Kevin Owens came out initially. It looked like he was saying good job or something like that. He was clapping. He wanted to shake his hand or something. And then MGK kind of just like pushed him. And for a skinny guy, it was a decent push. Either that or Kevin Owens sold it like a champ. Because it knocked Owens back like 2 steps. And then Owens just kind of grabbed him and did this weird powerbomb move. But like it wasn't the total powerbomb. It was like he was over here and just kind of like tossed him over the edge. And as Koltyn was telling me earlier, he did not sell it very well at all, because he got up and he just kind of walked away a couple seconds afterwards. So it was that. And then moving right along, we had Bray Wyatt do a ridiculously long, like, I know he does long promos, but this was crazy long promo of Roman Reigns in the ring, and Bray Wyatt just kept talking, like he wouldn't stop. And that was an annoying thing, so move on. We're gonna go to Seth Rollins in the end. Meeting with Triple H in the future, and you could see the tensions building a little bit between Triple H and Seth Rollins to see maybe a later feud between those two. And then hits the music, and the crowd goes insane. Here comes Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman coming down to the ring. Paul Heyman's face could really says it all. Like, he was just smiling ear to ear the entire time. Seth Rollins was hysterical, just looking at the ground the entire time, not looking up, like a small child knowing he's in trouble, but, if you don't look at your parents, you're not really in trouble. Seth slowly backed out of the ring and left, and apparently they're going to fight each other at Battleground, presumably at Battleground and SummerSlam. Who knows? So I guess that's our Raw. Colton doesn't really remember that much, I guess. So overall, I give it about 3 out of 5 stars, and we'll move on to our second topic.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for that lovely 5-minute review of Raw. Really good job. I don't have much to say. I don't remember it, but I don't know. What's our next topic? I don't remember.
Our next topic is Colton is going to go over the Owens Samoa Joe match.
Oh yeah, that happened. So, Wednesday, NXT night, as you all know, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, their first official meeting in WWE, because the indies don't really matter in the WWE. They didn't happen. Yeah, it was a really good match. I felt like it was a really good first match for these guys. A lot of power moves, beating the crap out of each other. A lot of hashtag Chinlock City from Mr. Owens, slowing the pace down, just healing it up. And the match ended in a double DQ, or however you want to interpret the end. They're just beating the crap out of each other. Had to be restrained by 400 security men, give or take 250 or so. And Joe goes to the back, runs back out, beats up Owens again. They go at it as NXT went off air. So it's really good. I'm really excited for their continued feud, maybe. Although Owens has about, 3 or 4 feuds going on right now with Joe and Finn and Johnny Boy and then, Byron Saxton, whenever they're on commentary together, he just likes to mess with Byron, so that's good fun as well. But yeah, really good match. It was a nice addition to my Wednesday night, so yeah, woohoo, good stuff.
So, have they met before in the indies?
Yeah, I can't confirm this as I don't watch any indie promotions, but I've heard on the Twitter sphere that they have indeed wrestled before, as have most guys who have been in the indies, have wrestled each other 4 billion times. There's only so many wrestlers who are worth a damn in the world. But yeah, good stuff. Yeah,
There's no indies around here. That's
no.
That sucks for us, I guess.
Indiana is about a 9-hour drive from us, so that's the closest indie to us. Indianapolis. It's a nice place. If you get a chance, check it out. They've got a nice downtown district. Lucas Oil Stadium's pretty nice. Yeah. So, what's the next topic?
Okay, we'll move on to our next topic. Our next topic is Finn Balor and Kevin Owens in Japan.
Yeah. So, the big. I'm sorry, this show sucks terribly. I don't know if I can keep doing this, but we're gonna try anyways. Just battle through this. So, really, the big question is what's gonna happen July 4th in Japan. Kevin Owens against Finn Balor. Balor is obviously huge in Japan. He spent a lot of his career in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and so Balor is going to get a huge reaction. I'm sure Kevin Owens will as well, but probably not at the same level as Balor. And so this happens right before the United States Championship match, supposedly a battleground between Owens and Cena. And so they seem to be working their way up to where Owens will be a full-time guy, on the main roster and no longer in NXT And so eventually Owens will have to lose the NXT title. A lot of people are speculating that it will be at this July 4th event in Japan. I can definitely see both sides of this coin. I feel like he probably should lose it to Finn Balor, but at the same time, they've said for probably 6 months now that Finn Balor did not plan on staying in NXT for long. He would be moving up to the main roster rather quickly. But as I've said on previous shows, I feel like they're lacking a little bit of star power in NXT right now, and so he might have to stay a little longer than he would like. But at the same time, I don't know how a loss would. I don't know how a loss would affect Owens and his feud with Cena. Obviously, he's pretty darn over right now with everyone, and so I don't think it would affect him that much. But looking for, I had a few other things to say, but I'm losing my train of thought. Another reason it might not happen is just in the fact that WWE is a global empire, but at the same time, obviously it does tend to focus more on its American fans, as it's located here in these good old United States of America. And it will be on the 4th of July, our Independence Day, America Day. And so 6:30 a.m. for the East Coast, which would be 5:30 for us, meaning it would be a lovely 3:30 in the morning for those out in California. And so you wouldn't really get a lot of exposure at that time of the morning if something big like that would happen. But I can see either way. I don't know. I'm just going to say just the fact that Finn Balor is so big in Japan, they're going to want to make this big. I think Finn Balor will take the NXT title from Kevin Owens. Should be a great match. I'm not worried about that at all. These guys are obviously really great. If you haven't seen the little promo that they did on Finn Balor, watch this week's NXT. Really, really good showcase. It really showed Finn Balor and how he came up through the industry. Also really connected Becky Lynch in there as well. If you're a fan of her, and if you're not, you really should be. She's pretty awesome. Anyways, I'm going to stop ranting. Matt, what are your thoughts on this subject?
Well, I agree completely that they are lacking some star power with Neville and Owens going up and Sami Zayn being out until October, I believe. That's when he might be cleared.
Yeah.
So, if you bring up Finn Balor that soon, I mean, who are you really going to have to do all this stuff? Yeah, you'd have the tag team division, the Divas division, really throwing everything up in there, which isn't bad. They have some cool stuff going on with Divas and tag teams, but Finn Balor needs to stay in there a little bit longer, maybe get maybe get some better feuds going in there for Finn Balor, put him over even further and trickle him up. But he definitely needs that time as the champion to kind of expose himself to the main event process, such as Kevin Owens is doing right now. And then possibly lose it later on to Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn could be the only two-time champion, because I don't see Sami Zayn coming up anytime soon with the injuries he's had. So, however, with Finn Balor winning it, I don't feel like Finn Balor is going to win it in Japan just because it is the 4th of July, and like Koltyn said, it's a worldwide corporation. However, it focuses really on America. That's why they make it a huge deal when they go over to England or they go over to Japan. It's like, we're in England today. It's like they don't make a big deal when they go to Philadelphia. It's just like, we're in Philadelphia again. So Finn Balor, I feel like Finn Balor is going to do a great job, and it's going to be some sort of not a clean victory because he's that over in Japan. And that's where he spends a lot of time. However, I think Kevin Owens is going to hang on to a little longer, solely because I don't think he's going to take the U.S. Championship from John Cena. I think John Cena is going to take that battle at Battleground. Yes.
Okay, so bouncing off that question, so if Owens doesn't lose it on the 4th of July, when does he lose it? I don't think they're scheduled for another takeover event until October, which when Sami Zayn is scheduled to be back. Would he just, either lose it either have the match, NXT match showcase on a pay-per-view, or maybe even a Raw, or would they just, like they've done it before, they just have a title change on just a random NXT taping? What do you think?
Well, the random NXT taping, that would provide shock value, which could be very beneficial to NXT. Show them they're not scared to think outside the box and throw complete curveballs at the crowd. Something that WWE obviously does not do. So it would be great to see that happen. Although it would be really cool to see him lose it on Raw. Like, he loses in Japan. He wins Japan, retains, loses to John Cena in that third match, and then maybe the next week he loses it to Finn Balor on Raw, which would turn Kevin Owens just kind of like go insane on everybody, just beating up everybody in his path because he lost twice in a row like that. He has no title now, and could really build him up to just go straight into the main event scene of Raw as he just beats the crap out of everyone. I mean, a few people would probably have to take some losses like Cesaro or Neville, but they'd have to lay down for the betterment of the ratings, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
And you think Finn Balor's going to win the title?
I'm not really sure. Like I said, I can see it going either way, but Owens obviously needs to drop the title soon-ish. I mean, doesn't necessarily have to be now, but I mean, definitely soon-ish. You can't have your NXT champion being on the main roster all the time. He needs to. I mean, which I feel like it's been great that the title has been on Raw. It's getting a lot of exposure, but at the same time, you can't do that forever, and so he'll need to lose it soon. So why not against Finn Balor? Obviously, Finn Balor's definitely a worthy opponent, and really anymore with Sami Zayn out, it's really. It's the Balor Zayn, it's the Balor Owens Samoa Joe trifecta, really as the star power of NXT, which apparently they've been showcasing at live events, which is just as awesome as it sounds. So NXT, Triple H, if you're listening, send those guys our way. It's not fair for you to have like 4 shows in Ohio when Ohio is a tiny ass state. And, spread the love a little bit. Come on. Like, nobody loves Ohio. The Miz is from Ohio. Like, that's enough. Just move it on. Anyway, so our next topic.
I want to see some Enzo Amore in Missouri.
Right now. I mean, I feel like he could really connect with the people here. This nice Southern folk that talk Southern and don't know what's like in the big city. Yeah, our next topic for the show is going to be presented to you by Matt, because I honestly have no clue what the next topic for our show is. I think it might be fan questions, but I don't know if we're getting ahead of myself here. Yeah.
All right, we're going to go on to the next topic of our show. And I'm going to take a little break here from the topics of the show to call out show-wise, one of our best show friends.
Oh,
am I saying that? It sounds really weird.
I was thinking something completely different. Never mind. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I heard while listening to at RTM Locker, at RTM's podcast on YouTube, that they are coming over to the States to visit Emma's mother in, I don't know where, South Carolina, I think, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter where.
But there's been
Yeah.
some unfortunate circumstances there. Hold on. I just want to throw this out here. If you ever have the thought of shooting somebody, don't. Okay, it's pretty simple. Don't shoot and kill other people. It's wrong. Either way. So yeah, carry on. Sorry. Go ahead.
Especially in church, that just seems like an odd place.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it is a weird place to meet people. That's the weirdest place to meet people. But
oh my mother.
But so at RTM, well, at least two of the members of RTM are coming over to the States, and I know you guys are going to be crammed with all the festivities and going to Dunkin' Donuts and getting Taco Bell and eating your tacos and whatnot. However, I do know that you guys are bringing your mic and all your gear, so let's hook this up. The Americans, the British, take on Japan, the first time since World War II. Let's do this. We could talk about the special in Japan. It'll be great. We could build it as a World War II thing.
Yeah.
The market's amazing for that. Anyways, going on to our topic next is our fan questions, and we have two of them, which I'm kind of sad about because you guys did such a great job last week. We had like 6 questions. And I was counting on you guys, and you let me down. You took a hot toddy all over my dreams. Now we have 2 questions.
Well, we are thankful
Koltyn, what are the questions?
For those of you who did send the questions. And by those of you, I mean Steven Sorrell. Thank you, Steven. He's become a big fan of the show. We really appreciate it. And as my Twitter app refreshes and I have to go look for the tweets again, Alex.
But yeah, you have become a really great, big part of the show.
Yeah.
Maybe one time we could figure out a thing where we could get you to guest star on the show. Because right now our only guest star ever has been Farmer. So.
Yeah, and Steven, if you guys don't know, if you don't follow him on Twitter, he has a WWE website, letstalkwwe.com. That's the dot and the com. So you should go check that out. He's featured us a few times. There's been a nice comment by somebody on his page saying how well informed and smart and how good looking we are. So thank you to whoever that person was.
I saw that. Yeah, thank you.
Whoever you are, you're a very smart man and or woman. So thank you for that. Anyways, I'll stop stalling now as I've found the tweets. So first question from @Steven Sorrell. That's with the V, not the PH. None of that fancy crap going on here. Steven wants to know what are our thoughts on a possible return of Cody Rhodes departing from Goldust and the possible push in the sad tragedy that is the passing of Dusty Rhodes. This is kind of a hard one for me. It's kind of hard. Just the fact I feel like you shouldn't give somebody a push because somebody else passed away. It is a sad tragedy, and I feel like it shouldn't be for that reason. But I feel like, as with everyone else, I'm tired of Stardust. Stardust doesn't. It was okay for a while, but it's grown. It's grown quite stale. And so I really do want to see Cody Rhodes back, but I want to see Cody Rhodes back because Cody Rhodes is a fantastic wrestler. He's really good at wrestling. He's really good on the mic. He engages the crowd. He does a really good job. So I would love to see Cody Rhodes back just as Cody Rhodes. I don't want to see Stardust anymore. I don't want to see him talking about the Cosmos and the this, that, and the other. I mean, I think it would be a great a tribute to Dusty to have Cody come back and try to carry on the family name, and they could do some fun stuff with trying to carry on the great Rhodes family name. But yeah, obviously I'd love to see Cody Rhodes back because he's really, really good at what he does. Anything to get Stardust gone is fine with me. But I don't feel like it should be because of this. But honestly, it's going to happen. It might as well happen now because of this. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Anyways, Matt, go ahead while I eat some more barbecue sauce.
It seems to me that young Cody Rhodes, when he went into Stardust, got in some hard times with his career.
That's pretty good.
It's time to get out of those hard times.
I like that.
And come back up to Cody Rhodes status. Former Intercontinental Champion, former Tag Team Champion, former Legacy member. All around, these are great blueprints to a future Hall of Famer if he just kept wrestling as Cody Rhodes. He needs to come back because, yeah, he was a great performer as Cody Rhodes. Not to say he wasn't a great performer as Stardust, he was, but it's just a little weird. So that should stop. You should bring back. Let me put it this way. The point is, if you'd rather see R-Truth wrestle than Stardust, you have a problem with your product. So WWE should see that and switch him back to Cody Rhodes. If he comes back, obviously, I mean, it's bad that he would get a push because of that, but I feel like he should get a small push because of that, and because he's a good wrestler. So I'd rather see Cody Rhodes and Neville in there than Big Show and The Miz facing Ryback for the Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, hey. I got a text. This is exciting.
Was it a question from a fan?
I think it's a drawing of Mickey Mouse using musical notes. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah.
So anyway, I feel like you should get a small push, but obviously you should just bring him back. And what the hell, while you're at it, bring Ted DiBiase Jr. back. Let's get this bandwagon rolling again, you know what I'm saying? 2006 style. Anyway, moving on to our next question.
Yes. So, this next question from @Steven Sorrell from letstalkwwe.com wants to know, how do you save Wade Barrett? Ooh. And he wants to also, if he needs saving at all. Obviously, yes, he does. But I think it's quite simple. He needs to win a frickin' match. Honestly, I don't know. I'm pretty sure you could count his televised wins since winning King of the Ring on one hand. I don't think it's been that many. I think he probably won the first Raw and SmackDown after. Oh gosh, excuse me. Barbecue sauce is kicking at me. Here we go. At JR's Barbecue. Go check it out, www.shop.com. So, yeah, Wade Barrett. I was going to mention something when you were talking about Cody Rhodes, and then I realized that it would just take away from talking right now. Yeah, I feel like Cody Rhodes they've put him through so many different gimmicks. And, you know, Cody Rhodes, Stardust, Dashing Cody Rhodes, Legacy, all this stuff. Well, Wade Barrett's done the same thing. You know, you've had Bad News Barrett and King Barrett and Wade Barrett and Nexus Barrett and Barrett and British Barrett and, you know, Fish and Chips Barrett. I don't know. But they need to do something, and it needs to start off with Barrett winning some matches. Because you can still be over with fans and lose matches. But not at the pace that this man is losing. He is approaching Zack Ryder jobber status with the amount of losses. And I'm pretty sure Zack Ryder has more wins recently as he's now teamed up with the Hype Bros with Mojo Rawley down in NXT. Zack Ryder got a pinfall victory the other week. That was pretty exciting. But yeah, it's really, really kind of irks me what they're doing with Wade Barrett. Because he's just another one of those guys. There's so many guys right now that have so much great talent, and they're really, really good. Barrett is engaging with the crowd, like I said with Rhodes. He's a great talker. He's got that little exotic flair, if you want to call British being exotic. But I guess to some people it probably is. And he's a great worker in the ring. He just does a great job. And we considered just going through the show and just talking about all the crappy booking that WWE has done with characters. And I feel like we're getting a little bit of it now because I just don't know what they're doing with this guy. He has so much potential, and you know he was main eventing. He was, challenging for the world heavyweight title a few years ago, and now he's losing every match he's in, and I don't understand it. But to answer your question, Steven, to save him, he needs to start winning matches. I loved it. His Bad News Barrett character was really over with the crowd, and unfortunately he got injured, so that had to be stopped. And if I remember right, there was rumors that Vince didn't like him being a heel character and having it get over that well. So, which seems like an easy fix to me. Just turn him face and have him do the same thing, and well, there you go. It's working there. So I don't know what they need to do. They need to do something. He needs to win matches. So the answer to that question to me is win matches. Win.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I do think that he does indeed need to be saved. He's a former 5-time Intercontinental Champion. 5-time. King of the Ring winner. And now he's losing it. He lost to R-Truth in a pre-show of Money in the Bank, which isn't even a real pay-per-view. So it's like, it's fallen from grace, has come down. Ever since he lost that feud with Neville, his wins have just dropped. So yeah, he needs to win a few matches. I came up with the idea earlier. It's kind of an over-the-top idea where you would have
Over the Top, Sylvester Stallone, great movie.
You'd have an Edge, Mr. Kennedy type thing with a Money in the Bank where Wade Barrett would try to challenge Sheamus for the Money in the Bank, and a England-Ireland just brawled, all-out brawl, because those guys, they don't like each other. They've said in interviews before they really just don't like each other as people. And they can get after it. Like, they hit each other for real when you see them in matches. It's pretty fun to watch. There's smash mouth brawling styles, some bro kicks, some changes of wins, this and that. It'd be great to watch. So that'd be fun. That would really put him back over, even if he comes a little bit short. Have him win some matches against people like R-Truth, Curtis Axel, Damien Sandow. Have him beat some jobbers for like a month or so.
Damien Sandow. God damn, what are they doing to these people?
Actually, yeah, speaking of former briefcase holders, Damien Sandow. Yes. I don't know how he won that one. I just recently looked up a list of Money in the Bank winners, and I saw the Damien Sandow thing, and it had a list of who was all in the match. I was like, well, damn it! Like, Dean Ambrose was in there, Cesaro was in there. Like, what were they doing?
The poor guy didn't even get a chance to cash it in. Come on.
So have him beat some jobbers for maybe like a month straight, and then after that month, he'll be ready to take his training wheels off again and slide right in there.
It was an odd use.
It was a very uncomfortable motion.
That was really weird. This is a PG show, Matt. We need to just reel it in.
Okay, so as you guys can see, you really do need to send us questions. Because when you let us just go rogue, it doesn't work out so well.
This episode, and I'm gonna borrow a phrase from our British friends so as to not offend my mother if she watches this show. This episode has just been complete shite. As it's called. Sorry. I do have a question though. If you follow us on Twitter, which you should, at wwelockertalk. Matt and I, as you know, disagree about how awesome Kevin Owens is, to the point where I'm right and think he's awesome, and Matt just doesn't agree. Now, for me, like, I'm okay with you not liking the guy. That's okay. Where my problem is where you say you don't like him because he's a bigger guy, and I don't want you to get upset, but these are your words. You said he's not athletic. And the guy who does a moonsault off the top rope, you cannot say he's not athletic. And the beard, like, come on, it's his beard. But anyways, this is not what we're going to talk about. I mean, I'll let you defend yourself after I ask the question. But I want to know, since we did have this disagreement, is there anything in WWE that everyone agrees with? Like, what does all of the WWE universe agree with? I tried to think of something. It's not a very big list if there's really anything. But can you think of anything that everybody just completely agrees with each other about?
I mean, I don't think so because of the age difference. If you cut off at a certain age, I feel like from maybe 16 and up, everyone would agree that the Attitude Era might be the best era of wrestling. Or, I mean, I don't know, because Shawn Michaels. When you think about, all right, who's the greatest performer? A lot of people think Shawn Michaels. A lot of people think The Undertaker. So you don't have any. I mean, I don't know. Even Mr. WrestleMania, people go Shawn Michaels or The Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can really think of that might be close is that those Raw commentators are just horrendous, and they need to pay attention to the matches more, and they're just awful. And I was listening to this latest RTM Wrestling, and they were talking about people who need to retire before the end of the year, and on their list was every member of the commentating team. And yeah, they're just hard to listen to. I mean, if you think, a lot of people say, oh, well, Cena sucks, I can't stand Cena, his promos were terrible. But, you know, there's these little kids who obviously look up to John Cena. There's people like me who like Kevin Owens, think he's great. There's people like Matt who just don't like the guy. There's people who think that Austin's better than The Rock. There's people who think The Rock is better than Austin. It's what's so great about wrestling is there's all these different opinions. And it's great as long as we can just discuss them in a way where we're not attacking other people. Matt, I hope I haven't made you feel attacked. I'm not trying to, and if I do apologize. But there is a lot of stupid ass people out there who just argue and just don't take it respectfully, you know, as I was saying, who just say, oh, well, you're stupid and you're wrong and this is... But anyways, yeah, I just want to throw that out there because we're just trying to waste time because you guys didn't ask us any questions, so we're just...
more. And we could talk about the whole Kevin Owens thing, too, in a civilized way. I just feel when I watch wrestling, there's certain things that I like to really go full on in with, like with kayfabe and everything. It's like, so The Undertaker's like, yeah, so he's an undead dude, and like, it's really, really awesome, and you get chills. I like to do that with people's characters. I just hate his character. I mean, he's a great wrestler.
What about it do you hate, like?
Just the heel character of it. Like, I love Brock Lesnar's heel character. I love Seth Rollins' heel character. It's just something about the...
Well, like, what would you characterize his heel character being? Like, what?
I don't know. Like, an anarchist, no hope for the future. Because in that whole speech, he's like, never give up. No. Like, this and that, and there is no this, and there is no that. And it's like, John Cena comes out and it's like, you should never give up, and like, never back down. And Kevin's like, no, you should give up and back down and everything. And I'm like, well, it's a little weird. Like, I'm used to the heel characters that are overpowering, like Brock Lesnar, that just to a point where it's you can't beat him, or Seth Rollins, who's the perfect heel character. And
well, I mean, Kevin Owens is definitely overpowering. He practically killed Sami Zayn. He put Neville out for a while, but I don't know. I just see his character as I kind of understand what you say about being like the kind of anarchist, but he just doesn't like the way things are. And he thinks that he is the best, and he should be the best, and he should be showcase others. I mean, CM Punk kind of had that kind of thing going where he is the best, and he was going to go out and prove that he's the best. And you know, if he's going to be kind of an asshole about it, and that's just the way he is. But you know, it's to each his own.
I feel like though with the whole, I was going to say CM Punk thing. So now CM Punk left, and even now people cheer CM Punk, like the hardcore fans, like you or RTM or whatever, will be like, oh, you know, these whatevers, they don't know what they're talking about. But I feel like if Kevin Owens left tomorrow and the fans cheered Kevin Owens, a year later, I feel like you guys would be like, yeah, Kevin Owens really needs to come back because he was really awesome. And that's kind of also a small problem I have. And I'm not for sure that everybody would say, yeah, Kevin Owens needs to come back a year later. But it just seems like people are just that into him. And CM Punk had more, I think, flair with how he did it.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I just think the thing with Punk is that he doesn't want to come back. He's made it very clear, like, I'm not coming back. Mm-hmm. He obviously is holding a huge grudge against the WWE, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. And so I think, like, that's a big thing with the Punk thing. Like, he doesn't want to come back. Like, he's said that he's done. But, you never know. Kevin Owens could eventually be the same way. I feel like
that's how Kevin Owens will be in the future if he doesn't get the World Heavyweight Championship. Also, I feel like he needs a little more flair with how he does things.
Flair,
I get that he's a brawler and he's a smash mouth person, but like those main event guys, like the Seth Rollins of the world and the John Cena's of the world, the Dean Ambrose of the world, they have that flair with the setup shots, and I just feel like, he needs that little bit. Like, maybe pair him up with Paul Heyman one day.
I get that, but, like, Stone Cold didn't have flair. Stone Cold definitely wasn't the greatest ring technician. He just went forward and kicked the crap out of you, and he does a moonsault. What more do you want? That's flair. You got a big, giant guy coming doing a moonsault and teasing a package pile driver and turns into a slam. I don't know. What's this? Hold on.
Give me the moveset that Joe has on Owens, and that'll be awesome.
I want to see more of Joe in NXT just because I haven't seen him in so long, and I've kind of forgotten all the different stuff that he's able to do. I mean, obviously the Brainbuster is really good, but I'm just really excited to see more of Joe and trying to remember what he does because I can't bring myself to watch anything from TNA anymore, even the old gooder or slightly less terrible stuff. Anyways, yeah.
The old TNA with AJ Styles.
Yeah, AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels and Abyss and
Christian Cage.
Scott Steiner and
Booker T and Hulk Hogan.
All of those Mr. Ken, all those guys who couldn't quite make it to the top in WWE were shot straight to the championship in TNA.
I heard rumors about Mr. Kennedy returning to a certain WWE.
I blocked that guy, so I hope you're not mad. I blocked that guy who was talking about that. That was just an annoying spam person. It was obnoxious. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that not true at all?
No, yeah. Also, hey, we finally blocked somebody on Twitter, so that's exciting. I probably shouldn't have. There was really nothing abusive about this person. I'm just an ass.
If you're spreading false rumors, though, although I don't know if you guys remember or watch TNA at all. Back in the day when Kurt Angle officially went over there, they formed something called like the Mafia or the Family, and it was the funniest thing because it was Kurt Angle was the Godfather, and you had Kurt Angle, Booker T, Kevin Nash. There was one other old timer that came over from WWE. It was a bunch of old timers, 30 and over, who all came over for the WWE around the same year, and they just band together. And they pulled a $1 million man move by bringing their own championship over called the TV title. It was something to watch already. All right, let me tell you what.
So it was kind of like the initial Kevin Nash, Scott Hall invasion of WCW, where basically the WWE guys came and just made all the WCW guys look like crap. And it's kind of like, oh, hey, well, these guys would just come and run roughshod over our company and didn't really make us look that good. Yeah, okay. Fun stuff.
And the TV championship does not exist anymore.
I mean, hey, check out TNA on Destination America. It's a show. It's out there.
I heard Bobby Lashley is also the World Heavyweight Champion right now.
Is he? I don't. I mean, I see people tweet about it. It's Kurt Angle or some guy or some other guy or Farmer tweet about some guy being like the Undertaker, but I wasn't really sure what he's talking about.
I didn't no idea what he was talking about.
I don't know what Farmer's ever talking about. Honestly, and on another subject, I feel like our show has gotten a lot better in the past, 20 minutes, so we might just cut out the first, 10 minutes of the show, because that was complete crap, and
we did pick up pace there.
We got a little more entertaining after we just got so bored that we just said screw it, and off we went.
You know what would be interesting, though, if WWE bought TNA and used everyone in TNA just like NXT as a minor league system.
Yeah, it can, but it might just be
when you're struggling.
Yeah, it might just be my praises, but I don't want anybody from TNA in WWE. But that's probably because I don't watch it. I don't know anyone who's on there, and so there could be guys who are really, really good. I think there's one. Eric or something, Bischoff, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I'm biased. Go on.
I've heard of him before.
Yeah.
I've heard that name come up sometime.
Eric Matthews plays with squirrels, something, I don't know.
I would love to see Kurt Angle and Bobby Lashley back in the good old WWE.
I feel like, to me, Bobby Lashley was a bit overrated. I mean, just listening to him talk is just enough to make you not believe anything about him. With that little high-pitched Bobby Lashley voice. I don't know. Anyways, go ahead with whatever we're talking about.
That was all about the TNA thing, really.
And
I don't know enough about TNA to keep going.
Yeah, we'll probably give them more spotlight than they get themselves, so that's...
I feel like, actually, if we're talking about legitimate, not even legitimate, if we're talking about more of a threat, Lucha Underground's more of a threat to WWE than TNA is.
Well, yeah, because they keep taking all the former WWE guys and putting them in the main event, and that's how they draw money.
Well, it's funny, because at one point in time, TNA was building to be the legitimate threat, and they were getting there, and then something happened. Who knows
WWE
what happened?
The WWE guys went back to WWE. That's what happened.
Like, Sting, I think that's the other guy that might have been in that Mafia.
It could be.
But what happened to Sting? Is he even in the WWE anymore? Like, what's going on?
I mean, I believe he's still under contract, so, hey, if you watched this last week's RTM Wrestling at RTM Wrestling on YouTube and on Twitter, talk about Sting as potentially being a guy who needs to retire soon. Check them out. They're really great. They're really British. If you like alcohol and chips or crisps, whatever. Really good. But I just thought of another question. I read online today that with a surplus of baby faces this summer, and as you can obviously tell, there are a ton of them. Top guys. You have Reigns, you have Ambrose. You have Cena, you have Ziggler, you have potentially Seth Rollins, you have potentially Brock Lesnar. Somebody's got to turn heel because there really aren't a crap ton of big heels other than really Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins
Sheamus.
Right now. Screw Sheamus. But yeah, who do you see as being the guy to turn bad, to be a bad guy? I don't know. Who do you see?
For a mega push, turning heel, Cesaro. And let me tell you something that I came up with that might blow your mind. And they could band together and become the super heel powers or whatever. I don't care what you want to are. But Cesaro and Randy Orton paired together. Think about this finishing move, guys. You know the swing Cesaro does, if he does it higher with a lighter guy like The Miz, does a little higher, comes in, slows it down just a little bit, swings him up, Randy Orton comes in for a reverse RKO.
Boom.
Now think about that mental picture.
It's beautiful.
That could be almost better than the Red Arrow.
He'd be good. I'd like that.
I'm throwing that out there right now. Almost better than the Red Arrow. That's pretty awesome. But legitimately, though, Cesaro, I could see him turning heel. He has the star power to do it with the fans. even a heel turn, he would still be over, and it would be a great way to get publicity to Cesaro, break out of that tag team maybe, and getting some really good mid-card, maybe borderline main event stuff. And then also that you can shy away from your obvious like Roman Reigns or Dean Ambrose, because I don't think Dean Ambrose will ever have either face or heel. He'll always be just that lunatic fringe of he's going to do bad things, he's going to do good things. Maybe both in the same night.
Yeah,
He's a lunatic.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the obvious choices here are Roman Reigns and or Dean Ambrose. Brock Lesnar, I feel like, just to me, Lesnar works better as a heel just because he doesn't look like a nice, happy, friendly-looking guy that you really need to be a good guy. Because Lesnar just looks mean and terrible, like he's going to beat the crap out of you, whoever, or whatever your thoughts are. So, I feel like Roman Reigns probably needs it more than Dean Ambrose, just for whatever reasons. I mean, I feel like people are finally getting over the let's just boo Roman Reigns to boo Roman Reigns. I feel like he's proven himself to be worthy, and people just need to get over it. He's going to be a champion. He's going to be the top star. You just need to get over it. If you just stop whining and listen, you see that he's improved vastly. Like, we didn't talk about any divas. We should probably talk about the divas. Yeah, they suck still. So, bring up Charlotte.
Eva Marie, however, is returning to action.
Actually, dang it. I was confirming that because they did tape, they did do NXT tapings tonight, but that's really the only spoiler in wrestling that I completely avoid is what happens on NXT, because for some reason that seems to be the only thing I don't want to be spoiled on. So, but yeah, rumors are definitely that Eva Marie is coming back. I wish her the best because, let's be honest, she couldn't possibly be worse than she used to be. But yeah, bring up Charlotte. For the love of God, she's not doing anything. Bring her to the main roster, please. Wow. You know, if we're thinking this might be one of our shorter episodes, this is our longest yet. So, yeah. Do you have anything else?
I don't. I feel like it's time to move on to announcement portion of the show.
Thank God.
You have any announcements?
Yes, I do. So, next week, as of next Saturday, which will be the 27th of June, will be our next episode. So catch us next week. We will be going over John Cena, Randy Orton, who should be the face of the company, who's the best. We'll let you figure out who's going to argue for whom. We're going to talk about some great ladder matches you might not think of all the time. You might not be thinking about the TLC stuff or Money in the Banks. We're gonna throw you a curveball there, but I promise it's going to be great. Other than that, I think we're going to try to have some special Locker Talk. We might try to do another lunch with Locker Talk. I know we enjoyed that a lot. We might be doing a fishing with Locker Talk, which might be easier because there's been flash floods, so we could literally just step outside and there'd be standing water, and we could go fishing on the back deck if we so chose. Well, we wouldn't catch anything, but it's still an option. But yeah, announcements. Look forward to that next week. Cena, Orton, and ladder matches. Matt, what else you got? I know you have this week's hashtag of the week. Do you have any other announcements to get to before then?
I do. WWE Locker Talk will be hosting a competition all of this month. Send us videos of you doing your best Vincent Kennedy McMahon impersonations. The winner will receive nothing but bragging rights. But that's still something, am I right?
Yes,
and you make your favorite show laugh.
Yeah. And if we ever get famous enough to where we'll have t-shirts, you will be the first one to receive an official Locker Talk t-shirt. So spread the word. If you want to win a t-shirt, we need to be popular enough to actually have t-shirts and have a reason to get t-shirts for you people. because we're definitely not rich. So, yeah, sorry. Can't just be giving out free crap all the time. Like those super fans of WWE who just go to every event and get front row seats and seemingly don't have jobs of their own. Bastards.
I don't understand it. I don't.
Also, I'm going to make a live request to our friends at RTM Wrestling. They had a part about how we Americans, we use the word bastard in everyday conversation. It's not really a big deal, but over in England it is, and they use another word that I'm not going to use because obviously we don't use that one in America. But just use your imagination. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out if you're smart enough. But yeah, also RTM Wrestling. Odd request. You might take this as kind of a stereotype, and if so, I'm sorry. I don't really care that much. But I want you guys to use the word rubbish more on your show because it's my favorite word, and hearing it from actual British people would make my life better. So if you can do that, thanks. I could have just tweeted this to you, but I feel like we're just going to keep rambling on. And if we keep going for 4 more minutes, we'll reach the hour mark. So that's really exciting.
Yes. Also, don't forget at RTM, we're calling you out because we know you're going to film in America. Why not just make it America, England takes on Japan? It'd be awesome. Think of the fan base we would reach. Probably 3 people in Germany, a person in Finland, maybe 5 people in Las Vegas. You never know.
Well, if we're doing a throwback to World War II, we're probably not going to have the Germans supporting us very much. Just a thought.
Well, actually, in German history, if you go over there, according to them, nothing happened between those years. Everyone was on vacation.
Oh, yeah, like other people who are seemingly always on holiday, who were never on their own show. Or not their show.
Speaking of super fans that don't seemingly have real jobs. I think that's it actually for announcements.
I've got one other, if you don't mind. I'd like to thank all one of you fans who wished me a happy birthday this week. I really appreciate that. Matt, thanks for making the shout out on Twitter. The rest of you suck. Okay. So I'm just kidding. I don't care that much. But anyways, yeah.
Wait, which fan?
Which
fan was it?
It was Farmer.
Oh, it's Farmer.
Obviously. But yeah. So if I really think that's it. We have about 2 minutes left. This is our big 20th episode. Who would have thought that Locker Talk would have made it to 20 episodes? With all of our adoring fans, we love all 10 of you, which I think we're up to right now, which is actually a legitimate number. So that's really exciting. So with all that said, we want to thank you guys for talking with us, for discussing wrestling. It's a lot of fun. We love interacting with all of you. And so if you want to like our video, head right down here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment directly below. We know you won't do that, unless you're RTM or Steven Cyril. We'd like to thank Steven Cyril for sending in those questions at Steven Cyril and his website, letstalkwwe.com. So once again, subscribe to the video, like the video. All that stuff. Leave us a tweet at wwelockertalk on Twitter. Email us. We don't take emails. Call in with your requests. I do not take them. Matt, what else you got?
I'd like to say thank you guys for watching as well. It's really great. We were just 2 kids in Hardee's that had a dream, and 20. We were just 2 kids in Hardee's that had a dream, and then 20 episodes later, here we are, stretching out a minute.
Now, let me tell you something about these hard times for the Locker Talk boys. The Locker Talk boys, we ain't having hard times because we got the great fans out there from all over the globe. Let me tell you something, Daddy. We really appreciate y'all, and we want to thank you for your support. We want to thank you for all that you do. And once again, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Oh, yeah. We love you guys. We really appreciate all that you do for us. And now that we've reached the 1 hour mark, I'm going to stop talking like this because my voice is really starting to hurt. Oh, yeah.
Which reminds me of one last announcement. If you guys participate, next week we could have a competition. Vote in who you want me and Koltyn to impersonate for an entire show.
Yeah.
Won't break kayfabe at all. Should be fun. We might do it. And with that, brings us to our hashtag of the week, and that is hashtag show off. Other than that, you know what time it is. Nature Boy! Woo!